First of all, what brings you to Monaco today?
Well, the CIFA forum, which is discussing the pressing issues which our current economies are facing, including its social aspects, is a very important theme at hand. And as the OIC affiliated international institutions dealing with a big bulk of the labor force of this region, with youth and the generation to come, I'm very much interested to contribute for consultations, which in their turn I believe will be part of the overall SDG consultation.
And now what perspectives or ideas are you bringing forward in the meeting today?
Well, they are mostly from a social perspective. We have a huge youth population, which accounts to some 35% of the 1.5 billion of Muslims around the world. And this new generation is facing immense challenges. I'll give you just one figure. Out of 100 million young people to enter the labor market in the next 25 years in the MENA region, only 25 million are expected to find a job. And where is this rest of the 75 million go? So we are considering this from 3 points. One is that they are a huge asset, but if not turned into opportunity, that would be a huge obstacle for the sustainable development of the big MENA region and overall the OIC countries. Secondly, this is a security-based issue because you know that unemployed youth are the immediate targets of extremist and terrorist groups, and even if 1/10% of this unemployed turns to be recruited by this is a big catastrophe for the region and for its immediate neighbor Europe. Thirdly, they are the bulk of the immigration or the labor migration to Europe. And here we have two side problems. One of them is that they are a bloodline for the European economies. On the other hand, they are facing with the growing phenomena of xenophobia and Islamophobia. So addressing these three challenges need inter-regional, inter-sector approach with huge involvement of the external agents in order to create strategies which address both economic part of that, social part of that, but also, let's put it, ideological part of that, or the education of tolerance, both in the OIC countries and Europe. So overall, we are talking about the population of 2.5 billion people living in Europe and its Muslim neighborhood, and that's very important to be considered by giving priorities to certain areas in identifying the forthcoming sustainable development goals.
Yeah, quite a big task. And you mentioned them before, the SDGs. We're in the final process of finalizing them. Groups like CIFA and other financial experts, what perspectives or what value do you think they bring to the table to the UN and the international community as they develop these goals?
I'm very delighted that this respected group of international financing consultants is taking issue from multiple perspectives, both social issues, experts on religious issues are included into this discussion, but also financial consultants. That's a complex approach is very much needed, and that complex approach is something which we are sometimes missing from radars when approaching, purely the issues which can, from the first hand, be seen as a purely economic issues.